creeps in mid benefit greatly from having blue buff. And you know, we may see some invasions to try and snag that early, but for now we are into the game. Blue corner, if you guys want to see CLG win this one, let me hear ya. And top corner, our returning champions from IPL3. If you want to see Dignitas take it all, let me hear ya. CLG wandering on up top river. Dignitas scattering just a little bit. We got a nice little point defense kind of, and pings going down around the red area, and CLG gathering up here in this top river bush.
Yeah, and already we see that both teams are expecting, wanting to take map control early. We see Jana warding their own red because they're planning the invade over on Mundo, so that it doesn't allow Mundo to come in. They will be aware of where Mundo is at any given point in time. But Tarek, on the other hand, Locust picking up that early pink ward and then 4 wards. So they will have a lot of safety in bottom lane, but the pink ward will allow them to take brush control against Jana and Vayne. And because of the advantage that Tarek has as that aggressive support, and Kog'Maw with that range advantage, coupled with the heal from Tarek, they will be able to use the bushes to their advantage and try and control that bottom lane.
Dignitas has a bunch of pings going in around the red. They have an idea. They know they haven't seen CLG down bot trying to go for the blue, so they have a sneaking suspicion they may be around the red, and you know what? They are correct.
Yeah, but you see Dignitas expecting the invade, so Kog'Maw holding up in the river, Scar was holding up mid, so they would see where CLG is coming, and just expecting that red's going to be gone, so we will see them come up. I'm pretty sure they're going to be giving Dominate his blue, just so that he can continue jungling at a fast speed, and yes, he is going to take it.
Now we do also see, I mean, both of these junglers not very mana dependent. I mean, if they so choose, they could decide to pass it off to their mids. But the Mundo does benefit from a little bit extra cooldown. You have the cleavers. Once he gets it, he does have the masochism as well, so a little bit extra damage output from him when he goes in for those ganks.
And it's also the fact that they suspected or probably
Vicious
knew. Actually, we see Saint Vicious coming in. There's going to be a lot of damage with that red buff. The stun not going to hit, but we do have Scar's flash down. But we will see, because they recognized that CLG was going to counter jungle them early, they wanted to be able to get Mundo his level so he can, continue up at the same speed as Saint Vicious.
Doublelift got caught a little bit by Locust, got the stun from behind through the tri-bush, but Dignitas going to back off. They got the damage they wanted, so they're going to go ahead and play it safe just a little bit. Voyboy and Hotshot, we keep saying the top lane is going to be the lane to watch. Both teams very concerned about the top lane, and CLG, most of their kills coming from the top lane as well.
Yeah, and Hotshot taking that cloth armor, he knows that he needs to mitigate some of that damage. Jax is just so strong up front. We do have a lot of sustain on Shogath, but if you can prevent him from coming up to the creeps, be very aggressive early on, which is what Jax likes to do, then you can take that advantage. But we see Saint Vicious coming up here. Voyboy doesn't have anything to jump to currently, so Saint Vicious going to be able to get some nice damage. There's actually the exhaust, and then the rupture followed up, so we might see the first blood. But the stun underneath the tower, Voyboy just barely not able to pick up that kill. If he had the Ignite, he would have had it.
He's hungry, he wants it, he's in pursuit. Saint Vicious, he's hiding in the bush. Voyboy, he knows he's there.
Yeah,
Hotshot
he definitely wants this kill.
Hotshot was trying to get the damage. Rupture misses, jukes it. Saint Vicious trying to get away. Voyboy leaps in, but Big Fat LP is here to join. He's here to help. Voyboy, you're now in a 3v1. Can you get away from this? Going into the bush to try and juke CLG out. Saint Vicious, he's in the bush. Will Voyboy be able to get in? The stun cannot hit Jax.
Dodging the flash frost last second. Fantastic play by Voyboy. And that's what we've seen. That really aggressive play by Voyboy, just barely making things happen, has great mechanics. But if that had been a kill, then very quickly we would see whether or not that lane falls behind. So really effective play there. He definitely needs some nice ward coverage now that he's a little bit low. Burn some of his summoners.
And while Anivia was top, this allowed Karthus to go ahead and push to tower. So Anivia lost out on a little bit of farm on that attempt. If the kill was gotten, it wouldn't mean a whole lot, but since Voyboy was able to get away, Anivia's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. 10 creeps, 14 creeps of a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's definitely key. you want to have that aggression, you want to have that team support, but if you're leaving the lane, then you can definitely fall a little bit behind. Anivia still has a lot of control over Karthus, but Karthus has the range where he can, just free farm there. And we do see Saint is taking his red now, so he will have kind of a continuous stream of reds here. We do have a lot of burst damage from Double Lift, so we'll have to see. Actually, he's going to condemn Locust there, get some nice burst, but we'll have to see whether or not Saint comes down there. I expect not, with how survivable Tarek is. It'll be very difficult for Saint to engage in that lane.
Here comes Dominate getting the cleaver in on Hotshot. He is exhausted. We got the fire, we got the AoE, trying to finish off Hotshot as much as we can. He's getting very low. 140, 100 health, cleaver, and the leap strike finishes the job. Dominate taking just enough damage for Jax to get in. First blood going to Dignitas.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge because Cho'Gath, like we said, needs to be able to sit up next to those creeps. Voyboy getting an early advantage is always key for Dignitas, whether or not he can get off to a good start. So we'll have to see where he goes with that, what kind of item builds he's going. Right now he has some lifesteal. We'll see whether or not he's kind of going into that same old Gunblade Jax or maybe a Hex Drinker, a little bit more tankier against all this magic damage.
I mean, I do enjoy Gunblade Jax. That's the build I use. Sometimes, if I need to, I'll actually go Hex Drinker, but we don't see that. I mean, we see a little bit of magic damage from CLG, Anivia being the bulk of it. We may not see, we're probably not going to be able to see that.
There are actually a lot of magic damage. Shyvana, she's a physical jungler, but all of her abilities are actually magic damage. Her Q is physical, but she does have a decent amount of magic damage. Couple that with Cho'Gath and with Anivia. But I don't know, we'll have to see. I definitely think that we might see some early dragon control from CLG. Shyvana and Mundo are actually both pretty strong at taking dragon, but with the Janna shields, with the damage from Vayne, we might see that coupled with the control that Anivia has.
Voyboy now doing what he can to push Hot Shot, and Dignitas keeping the lane even, and now Dominate is looking for a little bit for his creep. So is St. Vicious. They're wandering, they're looking at where they should be going next.
Yeah, and Saint, we do have good ward coverage top lane, so, Voyboy will be pretty safe up there, but Saint actually coming in once again. Voyboy does see him, has plenty of time to get out of there. Not really the best gap closer for Shyvana. She has great movement speed, but without the hard CC, it can be kind of difficult. So you saw they really need that exhaust up for those ganks. But actually we see Locust coming in onto Double Lift here. There's the stun, but Double Lift turning onto I'm a Cutie Pie, getting off a significant amount of damage. There's the exhaust onto Double Lift. He's actually going to cleanse it. Probably didn't need to use the cleanse, but getting a little excited, see if he could pick up that kill bottom.
And in the meantime, we got the blue going mid to Scar. He's going to be taking that back with him. He's going to have another extra bag of Skittles to go with him with those layaways. And Big Fat wondering where he should be, just wandering around downriver, just checking it out. Voyboy still getting the harass on Hotshot top lane. He has a bit of advantage now, and he's just working as much as he can. Hotshot being pushed to tower, a little bit to harder farm, and we just do have a quick pause in a moment.
Depends on if you can catch someone off, and that's what Anivia's wall is so strong at. Catching someone off, at Dragon, you wall off the corridors coming in. You have that kind of advantage if you can split the team. But if Dignitas is organized and prepared for the wall, then it's not going to be as effective as you would like.
It's still amazing too if you have those chases in the jungle. Very close quarters, even just the level 1 wall can do so much if you get caught in a choke point like that. But Blue gonna be going over to Big Fat, gonna be taking that back with him to mid. We see a bot backing off a little bit. CLG is gonna be backing. They're gonna go ahead and buy what is Vayne gonna buy? We're gonna get the tier 2 boots right there, extra attack speed on her. But it looks like Dignitas is actually going right around Dragon. They're actually gonna start it. They RCV'd.
But it's going to be a free Dragon for Dignitas. They know that bot lane just had to recall, so effective play by Locust and I'm a Cutie Pie, forcing the lane to recall. Karthus is extremely fast at taking Dragon, same with Cutie Pie. We'll see whether or not they go for aggressive Barons later in the game, because they definitely have that clear speed. So that little early advantage will definitely kind of hold them off into their strong late game. We'll see whether or not CLG can respond.
Cutie Pie getting a little bit too aggressive, trying to get some pot shots on Double Lift, but he's paying the price now. Double Lift, he wants it. He wants that kill. Gets the flash in. One more auto attack. No, we got the Summoner heal. We still have one more from Locust. Can he bob it in time? Very low. Oh, and we got the kill.
But we do have a lot of damage coming up here. Here's the Karthus ultimate. Can Locust finish him off?
But here's
we actually have Voyboy with the teleport, able to get the double kill to finish it off for his team.
We still actually had a Summoner heal on Locust, chose not to use it. I think we could have saved Cutie Pie there and still have gotten both those kills with the teleport in.
It would have been tough because Cutie Pie definitely wanted to get that range away from Vayne and wasn't in range for that heal. Tarek, couldn't catch up to him, so Cutie Pie, recognizing he was done, turning back into him. But Voyboy off to a huge start. That's when we've seen Dignitas having the most success, when Voyboy gets off to a big start. 3-0 so far on Jax as that really strong carry. It'll be interesting to see how CLG deals with that, but we actually see mid, Big Fat actually almost picking off Scar with the Flash Frost, did have him walled off. The Flash Frost would have sealed the deal. And then actually Jax turning on to St. Vicious, he will be able to get out of there, and then Jax will go back up top and go for that farm.
Jax, he's got about 1,000 gold on him. He's going to be going ahead and buy himself something nice. Big Fat doing some counter jungling in the meantime. Everyone's a little bit scattered after that last team fight, but now we see Hotshot going back up the top. He did have a little bit of an advantage there because Jax was gone, so he could go ahead.
But we actually see the stun onto Double Lift, getting some nice harass from Cutie Pie and Locust. They're definitely kind of low down there when Karthus' ultimate's back up. We'll see whether or not we see a Mundo gank, a little tower dive, but there's once again a stun onto Locust, and just again, really effective harass from Kog'Maw onto Vayne, has that range, and then Janna without the heal.
Dignitas is being super aggressive here bottom lane, but they have the ward coverage right in front of Dragon, a pink ward at that. So they can just go ahead, push as long as they want, as long as they have the ward coverage. If Shyvana decides to wander on down, it's like, oh, we're done. We're done for now. We'll just go ahead and back away.
Yeah, and looking at the items right now, I mean, Dignitas, 2K gold advantage already. We actually see Double Lift turning onto I'm a Cutie Pie. Shyvana is coming up the lane. There's the whirlwind from Chowster. The flash ultimate, and Double Lift going to be getting some nice damage on the Cutie Pie. He should go down. There's the exhaust. We do have the kill, and now he's rolling after Tarek. Not going to be able to get it, but even so, the kill on Cutie Pie, great damage from Double Lift early on.
And I was saying, I guess the ward coverage, the wards are now gone, but we had we had St. Vicious coming in from behind the tower. Not a whole lot you can do about that. So I think it may be in Dignitas' best interest to just maybe not be as aggressive bot lane from here on if they still have a tower by the time they get back.
There's just so much movement speed on this CLG team. Shyvana, definitely an extremely fast jungler. We see Jax jumping on Hotshot for a second top, but Shyvana, coupled with the passive from Janna, definitely has that movement speed. And actually, we see I Will Dominate coming in this top lane. We will have a dive in this top lane. Karthus has his ultimate, and we'll see whether or not he goes down, taking the turret for a second.
The wave had to move up, so Dominate actually took a tower shot, let Hotshot know he's there. The exhaust going down, who's going to be taking most of the damage? Dominate got the cleaver off, so he's going to be taking a bit, but he's healing up. Scar now joining in the wall, not going where it needs to be, and Voyboy will get the rupture. He is popped up. Dom!
Yeah, and Dominate is also very low. Scar almost out of mana here. Hotshot trying to chase down Dominate, won't be able to get him, but able to get out of that gank with a kill is just absolutely huge. Really effective play by Hotshot there.
That rupture, man, just walked up right up to him and just ate him.
Yeah, and you saw him just kiting around constantly around the turret. Dignitas couldn't really get the cleave angles that they want, couldn't chase him down and get the damage that they want, so taking a little bit too much damage. But Anivia walling off Scar a little bit, getting some nice burst damage in mid as well.
So teleport going down bot lane. Hotshot's going to be defending that wave. Going to be going nice one, but we see Chowster and Double Lift actually up top lane, taking that tower.
And that's really key for CLG. We've seen all this tournament, they kind of running teams that don't have the best pushing capabilities, when we've got a standoff. Vayne, short range. We do have lots of fight control, but Dignitas has the clearing capability. They would be able to kind of stall out those pushes a little bit, so it's really key for CLG to take this early advantage, get that map control so they can continue being aggressive, and we'll see whether or not they group up for this next dragon. It will be up in about a minute now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well Cutie Pie will be doing against Hotshot here in bot lane. Hotshot's got 3 levels on him, 5 stacks for his feast. Never mind, we got the 6th. Full stacks on the feast. He's got a lot of extra health, extra tanky right now. How much extra health is that? 720. Bonus health right now on Cho.
And the key is Hotshot, farming extremely well in that top lane. Jax roaming a little bit, was able to pick up some kills, but a little bit behind as far as Hotshot's concerned. So not as fed as you would normally feel when you have 3 kills, but he's definitely still extremely strong and going to be very strong coming into this mid game.
So about, we're almost 15 minutes in. We got some ward coverage here around Dragon. So it looks like Dignitas Locust is here, just cleaning things up, making sure everything's fine. But CLG is now starting to group up. And we see Vayne mid looking to defend the pushes. Big Fat's actually roaming up top lane to push that wave in. Skara wandering alone, just trying to see if anyone's in their jungle with those lay wastes. Hotshot putting some wards by himself down here around Dragon. That cleaver actually doing quite a big deal. That cleaver does percentage-based damage, so it's actually going to be really effective against Cho.
Yeah, and I think Mundo is generally as a champion, he is that really strong HP tank. When you have these magic damage champions like Cho'Gath, like Anivia, Mundo can kind of survive through some of their bursts, doesn't have to worry so much about the true damage from Feast, but we do see CLG kind of grouping up here, trying to stall this Dragon from Dignitas, and we do have Voyboy, his teleport is up, so Dignitas will want to stall for a little bit, see if Voyboy can push down that top tower, and then still be ready to engage for a fight.
They're trying to drag, for a second I thought they were trying to drag the Dragon out of the pit, but they're just trying to take all the wards out of the area from CLG, walled off.
But
Dignitas
CLG
can't get back to defend their mid tower in time. Wonderful wall for Anivia, is actually very low with the stun gang. 3 members of Dignitas. They will not go ahead and engage on that, but that tower took quite a bit of damage from that wall.
But we have Hotshot coming in, actually not going to throw off a Rupture, almost seeing an engage there, but Voyboy is going to be able to get that top tower, but once again, you know, aggressive play from CLG. They do have kind of a health advantage right now. Actually, with the Taric heals, they can sustain extremely well. So Dignitas is actually just going to come right in for this Dragon, and CLG definitely not going to be able to defend it. There's just too much clearing speed for Dignitas. They will get that Dragon for a continued gold advantage.
They put the CV down. They had an idea there, but you know, it's just a little bit too late. Dignitas 4 members will return to mid lane to push, and Voyboy he's just doing his own thing. How much gold does he have right now? He's got 1,500. So it's going to be something nice for him. And Dignitas 4 members pushing it down the mid tower. Almost everyone in the game is here except for Voyboy, but he's very accessible. Teleport to a minion, and he can be there in an instant.
Yeah, and with the range on Cutie Pie, they can get pot shots on the towers extremely easily. Skara has that wall to kind of allow them to disassociate fights, allows them to kite some. Anivia can do the exact same thing if Dignitas is trying to chase, but right now, you know, Dignitas definitely comfortable with just sitting back, farming into that later game.
Double F's going to take this opportunity to farm some of these creeps down the bot lane and let that lane push. Got 2 Dorans, and we're working towards the Bloodthirster. We're almost there. Cutie Pie thinking he's got the same idea, so he's going to be returning bot lane as well. Janna and Nivea in mid, pushing the lane. They want to get that last bit of damage on that tower. They want to take that thing down, but Scar is here. He can clear waves pretty effectively, but the wall keeping him in just a little bit closer. CLG does have to back off for the time being.
Yeah, so Dominate going to sit there and, you know, hold off that wall some. We do see a lot of damage from Double Lift. Oh, wow, almost being able to grab, you know, I'm a Cutie Pie there. He was against the wall, but not having good vision, didn't want to run into Lucas. But once again, it's that, you know, Cog build, going for the Zeal into the fast Phantom Dancer, recognizes that, you know, you just want some utility, you want some kiting potential for those fights because you already have the damage.
Voyboy taking the opportunity to farm some of the jungle creeps as well, while Hotshot's doing a little bit of free farming on his own. We got a nice little, you know, push. I'll push this wave, you push back. And Dominate now wandering over around Baron. We did see some pings from Dignitas around Baron earlier. We got the wall, making sure no one's in the bush. We know CLG is nearby.
Yeah, and I actually really like that we have a Shurelya's on Cho'Gath that's, you know, kind of usually viewed as a support item, but we will see a double Shurelya's most likely. And because CLG doesn't have the best initiation, they need to get a wall off or a Flash Frost from Anivia, and that's how they get their engage. They want to have that speed. Actually, we have the wall off on Skara, so nice damage going off there. Saint Vicious not going to go in for it, seeing I will dominate there, but just continuing to pressure this mid tower.
We got Voidboy still up top, and CLG, I think, are looking to take this tower on this push. You got 3 members. Dominate's the only one defending. It will go down pretty easy. And top lane, we got Voidboy actually in chase with Hotshot. He has to pop the Shurelya's to run away. But yeah, we got CLG taking the mid tower. All 3 tier 1 towers for Dignitas are down. So good job for CLG keeping that pressure up.
Yeah, Mundo has that early Oracles. He did get it around 10 minutes, so wants to make sure that CLG can't take too much map control, because now with all these towers down, we will see a lot more aggressive warding from CLG, but because Mundo has that kind of counter, he knows that they can still safely farm and just kind of sit back.
And Nivea walled by Skara. He's getting those layaways in, brought down to below half, but the wall keeping him in a little bit closer, but the minion wave will be gone in a moment. Cutie Pie actually taking a few free tower hits. Backing off, but once again, the tug of war continues in mid, while we have bot lane Dominate and Doublelift facing off, and we're actually going to give the red to Voyboy. Yeah, he can get in there with the leap strike, and proc the red, slow him down just a little bit. That may be what he needs to finish off Hotshot next time they fight.
Well, and the big thing is Jax is a champion. He's one of the strongest duelists in the game, so with the teleport on Voyboy, they want to split push him. We do have a ward there from Hotshot.
Oh.
Jax almost able to take it down, but not going to be able to without the pink. We actually have Mundo chasing down Doublelift here. He throws off the ultimate. We'll be able to get some cleaves, but Doublelift getting some effective damage here, and actually Voyboy teleporting in. So now that we have the come in from Hotshot as well, there's the rupture. Doublelift taking a lot of damage from Karthus, is very close to going down, but can they pick up Voyboy first? Doublelift does go down. Locust here as well, so this is going to turn onto CLG. Hotshot definitely going to go down. Very effective play from, we actually have the flash out. Can he get away? He's actually very close to Karthus not coming in, and Voyboy going to try and get that jump. Doesn't have the range. Karthus now cutting off Hotshot. Will be able to get the wall and hold him off here, but Big Fat is here as well. Not going to be able to get in. Can they actually slow down Big Fat? We have the exhaust coming down. So Big Fat, we have the flash from Cutie Pie over that wall. They are chasing after him. Saint Vicious onto with Shyvana onto Dignitas Skara. They are going to chase away, but I don't think we're going to have a kill. But actually, Nivea almost picking him up, and Jax almost grabbing Big Fat. Big Fat will go down to Shyvana, and they are backing off here. But Kog'Maw still with that range damage. We have another Flash Frost from Nivea, but here's the egg. They're going to be able to take it down. So a huge, just long fight, but one for Dignitas.
I thought Cutie Pie and Skara were going to be goners for sure in that one, but I think the Janna ult from Chowster may have saved them a little bit. They pushed him a little bit too far away, and that's a very tricky corner. And if you're fighting like in the Wraith It, if you have a Janna ult there, you're going to push him over the forest to safety.
Yeah, and we saw that wall from Anivia, usually really great at disengaging fights. We do have great reset with Anivia's wall and with Janna, but there, Dignitas just coming extremely aggressively. Lots of movement with the flash from Cutie Pie, has the range, with Voyboy continuing to jump, so able to chase them down and pick up a couple of kills.
So we did see the Trinity Force finish on Jax. He's got a nice little bit of everything. Some extra health, some extra mana. We got the proc, we got the slow, we got the crit. We got a whole bunch of other things, and it's a triangle. People love triangles. I love triangles. You love triangles?
Triangles are okay. I'm good with triangles.
I know Freak likes those.
Yeah. But
yes, he does.
Anyway, I was saying earlier, Voyboy has that teleport, is a really strong duelist, so giving him that red allows him to have that control. And actually, we see Dignitas coming in extremely aggressively on this Baron. They have a lot of damage. It's going to go down very quickly. Hotshot was bottom. He doesn't have his teleport up, so CLG trying to stall, but it's going to go down extremely quickly. There's actually the wall off from Big Fat LP. We'll see whether or not they can take this.
Dignitas, they're all in the pit. They got Dragon pretty convincingly. Not a whole lot CLG could have done about that. Now Dominate leading the charge. We are seeing a little bit of a split here. So we see Dominate and Cutie Pie going back to base. Voyboy, Locust, and Scar taking the other long way around. So it looks like they're just going to be content with going back, regrouping, possibly buying a few things, and then I think we might see them pushing it mid, pushing bot, trying to get past that tier 1 tower there.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely one of the strengths of their team, is their pushing capability. So we will see with this regen whether or not they try and aggressively go for mid or just kind of try and sit back, farm even more to late game. They'll probably be looking to push here, but with Karthus, Kog'Maw, Voyboy on Jax, Mundo, all 4 of those champions are extremely aggressive at taking Baron. So Dignitas, recognizing the slight advantage and just able to hop in there. And they are actually grouping to see if they can grab this dragon or maybe just invade a little bit. We'll see. Cog definitely has the range to take down towers extremely effectively. Mid tower is very low.
So Dignitas, they have this. They have a pretty healthy wave. Mid tower tier 1 for CLG is halfway done, but we do have Nivea clearing the wave pretty quickly. Scar trying to get some damage in while he can. Tornado going down just to dissuade them just slightly, but we do see Saint Vicious. He's a little bit too far out. We got pings going down. Voyboy is in the neighborhood. They know. We have some pings from CLG. that they have an idea, they have an inkling, but Dominate now left to defend the mid, and blue can be passed over to Skara very shortly. There it is.
Yeah, and it should be interesting as the game progresses. Right now, Skara definitely low on mana, needs to constantly be spamming, but Skara with that mana heavy build, as the game progresses, it'll be interesting to see whether or not they pass that blue onto Cog. Definitely benefits from it extremely well, having the cooldown reduction on his W, and then being able to spam his ultimate for that poke.
Dominate taking care of both of those wards in the bush there from CLG, right next to each other, very convenient. And whenever you have an Oracles, if you have it on your support or your jungler, let them take it. Some extra gold for them helps out immensely in the end.
Oh, but we actually have the wall off. Cutie Pie getting caught with the flash thrust, but no follow-up from CLG. Shyvana is bottom, and Hotshot is, he knows his teleport's almost up, so Voyboy is going to be up as well. Both of them know that they have the split timer there.
Voyboy is trying to take a few free shots on the tower, but St. Vicious not having any of that, but we do have a ping over from CLG. They did CV, Dignitas is red. They know they're grabbing it right now. Cutie Pie is going to have it for himself once we get those team fights. Once he gets the range he needs, any member of CLG, they will be slowed. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to get away and easier for him to get the mortar shots.
Yeah, that's definitely true. He has the range, but Shyvana definitely a strong gap closer for taking down Kog'Maw in those team fights. We'll see, if Kog'Maw gets picked, very quickly the fights could turn to CLG. And just like we saw there when they're trying to push up to the tower, the range in Nivea's wall is long enough that you can pick off that Kog'Maw. But Dignitas once again coming down mid. We see a tower here, but the great clearing capability from Big Fat is able to stall it just even more, able to clear those creep waves, not allow Dignitas to take an advantage.
That Baron buff from Dignitas is actually almost gone. We got about like a sixth of it left. We still got some board clearing going on, but the push from Dignitas has not been all too successful. Nivea's been mid this entire time, clearing the waves immediately with the ultimate, and Dignitas can't get the damage they need. We got the rupture coming in from Hotshot. Everyone's silenced. They're taking the tower shots the entire time, all going on to Skara. Karthus, not the best tanker for a tower, but Cutie Pie getting damage while he can, and I think Baron buff should be gone by the next time they go in on this tower.
But they will be able to get this tier 1 tower, and with some of CLG going back, they should be able to put some pressure on the second one because Shyvana is bottom. We'll see whether or not Jax goes to slow her down. He does have his teleport up now, so he is heading over that way. But actually Dignitas, because the Baron is down, they are very comfortable with sitting back, taking that slight advantage, and then continuing to farm.
Yeah, if you're pushing a tower top or bot, if you're hitting up to the tier 2, this bush right here is actually a very popular hiding spot. So if you have like a skill shot, you just fire in. If you think someone's recalling in there, you can actually get a kill sometimes.
Which spot was that?
The bush right here. That side bush right there, a very popular hiding spot.
Yeah, but Vayne picking up that red buff has a significant amount of damage right now. The stack's sticking on the Bloodthirster since that change, so that does very well with all of her burst damage scaling off of that physical damage. And we do have 3 members of CLG coming in this bottom lane. Voyboy really just too safe right now with the Ghost. He is going to back off there.
So I think now we're waiting a little bit. We're just playing a little bit passive. We're waiting for Baron to come back up. We're waiting for Dragon to come back up. And actually got Voyboy just getting St. Vicious just away a little bit. And we have Dragon Baron should be coming up very soon, and actually got St. Vicious here now having to run away from Voyboy. We got the Sheen proc. The nice little red aura is when he's going to be doing a little bit extra damage with his next attack.
But here you can see the concern for CLG at this point. They don't have really great teamfight initiation without picking someone off with Anivia. If they can pick someone off, that's huge. But they don't really have the gap closers without those Shirelias. So if we have the kite with Karthus's wall, Dignitas can just reset those fights, kind of ignore it for a little bit, and then we don't have the pushing power for CLG. So right now, they kind of just have to have a wait-and-see mentality, see if they can pick anyone off. We do have a couple of members from Dignitas coming into this bottom lane, going to be surrounding St. Vicious here. Hotshot is here as well. Voyboy taking some damage. St. Vicious going to Dragon form out of there and going to be safe, but this will be another tower for Dignitas.
Dignitas will swoop right in. We still got enough minions. We're just going to go ahead and grab that real quick. Are they going to push her? We got some pings for Dignitas to retreat back. Just going to go ahead. They've taken their objective. They're going to back off. And now we got 3 towers from both teams down at the moment. It's in terms of defenses, in terms of towers, are pretty even. Gold not too far apart. like 2-3K separating these teams. But Dignitas is ahead in kills. A lot of them, actually Jax has been a part of every single one.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely farmed right now, catching up to Hotshot, with the CS just constantly split pushing and to go along with his kills. So he's going to be a serious threat. It'll be interesting to see, Jax has that capability of shutting down Vayne in the fights with the stun. Vayne does have the cleanse, but even so, if they take down Jax, who's going to be extremely tanky in these fights, then they're still going to have to deal with Karthus. They're going to have to deal with Kog'Maw. So who do you focus as CLG? It's really going to come down to whether or not CLG can burst someone down. They have a lot of burst damage with, Cho'Gath's Feast, with, Vayne. So it'll be key for them to just pick people off once again. In a head-to-head fight, CLG definitely at a disadvantage, though, and even more so as the game progresses.
We also see we got Jax grabbing the Hextech Gunblade. We got a lot of sustain there. We got the life steal. We got the spell vamp. He's going to stay in team fights a little longer, but Scar actually getting caught out by Anivia. We got the wall. We got the stun. And he decides to flash in the middle of it. We cannot get the AoE on anyone else, so everyone from CLG has decided to back up, but we got the ult from Karthus trying to do what he can. Voidboy teleporting in, going out on the same vision. We got the Janna ult clearing everyone away, and Locust being singled out by CLG, but now double up in the back of the line, and PewDiePie going way too far forward. Will die as well. We got a little bit extra true damage, and now Locust actually dying as well. Now Voidboy can't get what he needs, and Dominate is left to run away on his own. 1-4-4.
And Vayne, with that cleanse, with the tumble, with the condemn, was just able to keep himself out of range. Very surprising, Dignitas not able to get in on him, but being able to pick off Karthus very early, turned it for him. PewDiePie getting his nice damage for a while there, so it looked like he'd be fine, but the great control that Anivia brings, they had those disables up front. We did see the exhaust coming off with Shyvana onto PewDiePie, and now we do have a Baron for CLG, and it will almost certainly go to them. Dignitas almost no chance
Steal this
of
with the
stealing
cleaver,
this.
for the love of God. Steal this with the cleaver to be hilarious now. If you sold that with a cleaver, I would have been so good, but CLG, they've secured a Baron for themselves, and you know what? Chaucer came back just in time.
And so now with that Baron buff, we'll see what CLG does with it. They will want to try and, go for map control. It will still be difficult for them to push down towers. It depends on how kind of ballsy they're feeling, whether or not they think they can just run right up to the towers and just tank them with Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is extremely tanky, though, so that will be interesting to see, whether he just decides to run up and tank it for him, because then they do have enough damage to burst it down. But I think putting themselves in that short melee range for Karthus to, that great wall setup, have that AoE damage, might be kind of tricky for them. So CLG definitely wants to take Dragon, see if they can take some buffs. Blue buff should be up shortly for Dignitas, I believe. Red buff, Cog was able to get it, but we'll see whether or not they have a push. Actually, Dignitas going back, so CLG will be able to take down this mid tower.
CLG, we have the minion wave that we need, and if we need to tank out a tower straight out, Hotshot GG, he's got a fair amount of health on him. He's pretty big. He's pretty huge. He's died twice. So those stacks going to be sticking up at 6 for the time being, and they have Baron buff. They have all the advantage they need with a minion wave to just go ahead and pressure down these towers. Dignitas has no choice but to defend against this mid push, and we're just going to see them taking more objectives. We may see them wandering down, possibly going to take the dragon real quick, but I think we're actually just going to go straight out for this bot tower.
And you also have to consider, the more and more I'm seeing what CLG is doing, they're really playing this matchup extremely effectively. We have 2 Randuin's Omens, so that slow is really going to shut down a lot of Cog's damage, and then Hotshot, knowing he's already tanky, doesn't want them just ignoring him, goes with actually a blue pot and then the Wit's End. So he's going to have a lot of anti-carry kind of harass damage, able to get up in Cog's face. If Cog is kind of threatened, not able to deal that damage, then very quickly we could see Vayne clearing up the fight.
We got the mini wave pushing, but it has been cleared. CLG, we got the wall, trapping a few members of Dignitas in tower, 350 health about. Next minion wave, we should get the 1, 2, 3 shots we need to take down that tower. Clearing the wave quite quickly. Will Dignitas decide to back off? They will. They will let that tier 2 tower fall, while keeping CLG from getting any further in, but this wave continues to push. Are they going to switch places? Yes, they are. They're going to go ahead and try their hand at mid once again.
Yeah, and those Anivia walls so well placed this entire game. being able to catch off Karthus and Cog. I mean, those are, you know, their targets. So not going in for the kills, recognize, hey, they've got the Baron, they don't want to be too aggressive here, but able to wear Dignitas down to the point where they can't defend this. And so as a result, a couple of towers going down for CLG.
Double left, just go ahead, plug away at this tower. Dignitas can't even, just pretty much on her own taking that one out. And then Wave continues to push. Dignitas still on the defensive. Baron buff, we got about 75% done. We still got a little bit of time. We could take this tower with it as well. But yeah, CLG, if they realize something's not working immediately, it's like, hey, we've lost our wave. Let's relocate. Let's switch places. Let's keep Dignitas on their toes. Keep them moving.
Yeah, and because you know, Voidboy, he is pretty, you know, beefy right now. A lot of his damage is going to be magic damage. He seems like a physical carry, but he does deal magic damage. Karthus has a lot of magic damage right now, so we do have, you know, the Negatron cloak on Vayne. We'll be able to be a little bit upfront since they know that, you know, they're going to have to deal with that damage because Vayne is such short range. But CLG able to take a couple of towers. We'll see whether or not we start a split push. I think Jax is just a little bit too strong at shutting down Cho'Gath's split push at this point. They don't want him to kind of duel off. But, you know, CLG once again taking this dragon, able to take control as far as gold for the game.
Pings going down from CLG to the mid tower, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next objective from CLG. The Baron buff has expired. Baron should be respawning in a few minutes, and if we don't see CLG decide to pressure down any more towers, that should be where our next big fight is. Big Fat Anivia once again so good at clearing those minion waves. We're going to see that pushing up, and Dignitas, despite the fact that the Baron is up, they're still playing it pretty defensive. They want to make sure they have vision. They want to know where CLG is, because right now they do not.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting. Once again, you know, just CLG wants to be unkillable in these fights. They want to be able to focus people down. They do have great single target, you know, kind of damage with Vayne, with Cho'Gath's burst, with Anivia's burst. And so Janna going with the Aegis, going with the Iron Solari, we'll be able to prevent some of that, you know, damage from Dignitas, allow CLG to just become too tanky for Dignitas to deal with. And if they can, you know, disrupt Cog's kind of, I don't know, rhythm, then very quickly those fights turn to CLG.
So we got the wave pushing in. CLG not going to be able to do a whole lot with this. I took a quick look at Voidboy's items. It looks like he's going to be doing the Guardian's Angel next. Try and get himself a little bit extra life in these team fights if he does die. He gets in there, you know, you get the leap strike. You're going to be in the middle of all these fights. You're going to be a prime target, and they know Jax is capable of ridiculous amounts of damage. So he knows he's going to be focused later on down the line.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely wants to be extremely aggressive and go after Vayne, so he needs that survivability.
Double walls going down. Skara, he knows he wants to see if he can't trap, get the slow off anyone in CLG while they're messing around in their jungle. I think that's right here in the bush. Both teams contesting here over red buff, and Voidboy actually getting a little bit way too far out, and he does not have the time to get back to the rest of his team. And Skara now also away from the rest of Dignitas. Can we get a little bit more? Dominate cannot get away either. St. Vicious cleaning up. Locust and Cutie Pie, will he be able to back out? No, he will not.
Wow, so St. Vicious just kind of 3v1'd some of Dignitas. You saw Cutie Pie trying to get that red buff sent from Saint, came up a little bit too close, so Shyvana just completely separating the team. That's one of the strengths of Shyvana, but I was so surprised by how long Saint was able to stick around. You know, Cog not able to deal enough damage, so an inhibitor going down for Dignitas. And I don't know, with that advantage, they can definitely, you know, push separate lanes. They don't have to worry about the fact that they don't, about stalling under the turrets anymore, like we saw a second ago, because they were able to pick off Dignitas in their jungle.
We may have this huge minion wave that might actually take out this tier 2 tower here, but Dignitas is now coming back up. We actually got teleport in. Where's he going? Voidboy actually trying to get in the jungle. But Chowster saw, put the tornado down, dissuade him just a little bit, but actually will Voidboy find him. He's in the bush, he's recalling, we'll be able to get him. No, Chowster leaves. Leap strike going down. Can we get the stun? Yes, we can. Chowster, what options do you have? You can flash away. We got the tornado coming in, but Voidboy still in pursuit. Wants to get that kill, wants that Oracles. Backing out.
Yeah, Chaucer's definitely going to be fine there, and it goes, you know, to CLG's strength that they are very strong in the jungle when you have those walls. And actually, we see Cho'Gath and St. Vicious here a little bit caught out, but they're tanky enough. They have the rest of their team there. It's not that big of a deal. Dignitas definitely doesn't really want to engage on those champions. But when CLG can fight in the jungle, they can just wall off, you know, half of Dignitas. And those walls, you know, a little bit more effective than I expected, but just, you know, really great control from Anivia the entire game.
And Nivea doing quite a bit of work. 1, 1, and 9. All those assists doing it pretty well. We also got the Zonias. We got a Void Staff. Magic Resist on Dignitas. So I'm trying to see. We got a few boots. We got some No Magic Mantles. You also got the Rod of Ages as well. Getting some extra AP on the bird. How much AP to be precise? 255.
Yeah, right now, with the Oracles on Chauster, CLG can kind of bait Dignitas into a fight. Then we will have the Anivia wall to cut off the entrances to the river. So they are actually just going for it extremely aggressively. They don't have vision currently of Dignitas. We'll see, you know, what Big Fat's going to do here, whether he can get an effective wall off, but they are actually going to turn into him. There's the Shirelius hot shot, going to throw off the Rupture, not actually picking anyone off. The Anivia wall will separate the team, but not able to grab anyone, so Dominate will be safe there, and CLG going right back to Baron.
Not exactly the greatest Anivia wall in the world, but Dignitas now, they're going in, and Voidboy goes straight for the backline hot shot. Out in front, will be falling first, but Voidboy, we have the GA now, he's going to be coming back to life. St. Vicious being focused by 3 members of Dignitas. Dominate falling, and Jax is not going to be able to live through that one, but Dignitas, we only have 2 members left running from CLG with Baron buff. Trying to get a few lay waste as they're leaving, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to get away. Locust actually being focused down by Double Lift. The shots will manage to kill him. Skara has to retreat towards enemy base. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend.
No, that's almost certainly going to be a GG for CLG, and what we saw there was St. Vicious just way too tanky with that Randuin Zoman, has the slow on Kog'Maw's attack speed with the armor. Just incredible job by Saint being able to 3v1 them, separate them in the fight, and CLG going to take game number 1 with this push on the Nexus. We'll see how Dignitas returns, but awesome job by CLG. We see the Monsoon throwing off Skara there, but GG for game 1.
Game number 1, CLG takes it, GG! So I think after that display, do you think we can expect a Vayne ban?
I would almost more so expect an Anivia ban. I was, you know, just really
surprised.
Shyvana, once again, now 8-0 in this tournament.